For decades, many across the Middle East have believed that external powers, especially Western governments, have, at times, influenced leadership in the region. That belief didn't emerge in a vacuum. If we look at Iran's recent history, we can see why this perception persists. In 1941, during World War II, Allied forces forced Reza Shah Pahlavi to abdicate and sent him into exile. Iran had become strategically vital, as a supply corridor to support the Soviet Union and as a buffer against potential German influence. Then, in 1953, a coup backed by the United States and Britain removed Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh after he nationalized Iran's oil industry, challenging British economic interests. These events left a lasting imprint, not just on Iran's politics, but on how many people in the region interpret global power. So when the Shah fell in 1979, it wasn't surprising that some began to ask, was this another intervention? Or something very different? To explore that question, we need to look more closely at the history itself. It begins with a soldier. Reza Shah Pahlavi, born Reza Khan, rose through the ranks of the Persian Cossack Brigade, one of the most powerful military forces in Iran at the time. In 1921, he seized power in a coup. In 1925, he crowned himself Shah. His mission was clear, to modernize the country and reduce foreign influence. But in 1941, everything changed. As World War II intensified, Iran became a battlefield of global strategy. British and Soviet forces invaded, concerned about German influence and determined to secure a critical supply route to the Soviet Union. Reza Shah was forced to abdicate and sent into exile. His son, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, took the throne. Iran was no ordinary country. It sat on vast oil reserves and occupied a strategic position between East and West. In 1951, Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh made a bold move, nationalizing Iran's oil industry and directly challenging the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. For Britain, this was more than an economic loss. It was a challenge to its global influence. In 1953, a coup supported by the United States and Britain removed Mossadegh from power. The Shah returned, and from that moment, his rule became far more centralized. During the Cold War, Iran became a key Western ally. The Shah built one of the region's strongest military forces, launched sweeping modernization programs, and pursued an ambitious nuclear energy strategy. With Western support, Iran was transforming into a regional power. But beneath the progress, tensions were growing. Rapid modernization created inequality. Political opposition was suppressed. And across the country, students, workers, and religious leaders began to push back. By the late 1970s, protests spread across Iran. At the center of the movement was a cleric in exile, Ruhollah Khomeini. His speeches were recorded, copied, and distributed across the country. Millions listened. In January 1979, the Shah left Iran. He would never return. Weeks later, Khomeini arrived in Tehran. Millions filled the streets. The monarchy collapsed. Most historians argue that the 1979 revolution was driven primarily by internal forces, economic pressures, political dissatisfaction, and widespread social unrest. But the questions have never fully disappeared. Did Western governments lose confidence in their ally? Did intelligence agencies misread the strength of the opposition? Or were the forces of revolution already unstoppable? In geopolitics, perception often matters as much as reality. And across the Middle East, one perception remains powerful, that external powers have, at times, influenced leadership outcomes in the region. Whether or not that perception reflects the full picture, it continues to shape how events are understood. Today, Iran once again stands at a moment of uncertainty. But the situation is very different. There is no clear replacement, no unified opposition, and no guarantee that any external force could shape what comes next. If history teaches anything, it is that influence is not the same as control, and that not every outcome is chosen. So perhaps the real question is not who will be chosen next, but whether, in a country as complex as Iran, anyone can be chosen at all. What do you think?
Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.